And Lori with the Goodbye Good Girl Project. And oh my God, we are here to make sure we are not full of bullshit as we head into this crazy, transformational, evolutionary time that we're in, and that we understand exactly where our power is because our power is unparalleled and we don't know a freaking thing about it. Not something, we don't know a freaking thing about it. Mm-mm, because we've never been taught. Now, we started to learn, we started to be told a lot of stuff over the last decades. Hey, Mia, I've got, um, what do you call it, Substack here and TikTok here. So, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. Um, oh, you love my hat, Mia, thank you. This is I knitted this to be part of the resistance. I've got another hat that I just knitted for the resistance, and I'm gonna start making, like, little tiny ones for people to put on their key rings because, like, let's go. Let's go. Let's just, you do what you can, right? You do what you can. And I'm doing everything I can. Thank you very much. I love it. I mean, I did that without a pattern, okay? I want to tell you how badass I am. I did that without a freaking pattern. All right. Now, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. First of all, if you need some cards pulled, the way I read tarot is it's all about your personal growth, your empowerment. And when I say empowerment, I'm not messing around. I'm not fooling around here. When I say that, what I mean is we get to the heart of the matter. So that means no religious bullshit, no spiritual bullshit, no sense of let me just you'd love some tarot, Mia? You got it, babe. You got it. Now, I can't tell if any of you guys are here because here on Substack, it shows me that 9 people came in, which is awesome. So glad, but I don't know if you end up staying. So if you're here, I'd love to know it. And if I can draw a card for you, let me know, or 2. I never decide. The cards decide. It'll throw out a few. Well, it's not quite true, I guess. But this is for me. Oh, well, 2 just spit out for you, Mia. Okay, so first let me tune into you. Hold on a minute. I don't know if I can. I'm pretty sleepy tonight. But, I'm getting a sense of excitement. I don't know if that's accurate, Mia, but I'm getting a sense of excitement for you, which is really, really nice. I like that. Now, these cards are, this is like a brand new beginning of you. Ace of Wands. It's accurate. Oh, what do you know? It's so mind blowing. It's just so mind blowing. I should really get an extra light, but I will get that in a minute. So this is confirming that you are walking into a new way of being you, a new part of your not personality. It's deeper than that. Um, you're walking into a new identity in the world. Like people are going to see that. Okay. People are going to see that. And I'm not certain, I'm going to pull another card, but this card, the Hanged Man, says either that it's accurate. Oh, maybe that was from before, but you're either waiting for this or you've been waiting for this for a long time. So I'm feeling like you've been waiting. And I'm going to pull another card to see what we got. The Ace of Swords. There's something's going on with you, girl. Huh? Something is going on with you. You are in a brand new beginning. Now, I wonder what the Hanged Man part is about. Oh, everybody, please share this out for me so we can get more people in here who know they're not alone during this wackadoo time. That is very important to me. I would appreciate it. Hi, Echo, or Eco. You can feel it. Wow. Have you been waiting for a while, Mia? Have you been trying to like move forward and be different and expand yourself? Well, this is confirming then that you are right on track. And that is such a cool thing to be able to do. That's a cool thing. Ah, good for you. Good for you. Personal growth is a big freaking deal. It's so big. Can I tell you? You are so welcome, honey. My pleasure. I wanted to talk to you guys about double vision. We're in an evolutionary period, right? And on the one hand, we're like trying to walk into all of our spirituality and everything else like that, and at the same time, we are needing to pay our rent and get jobs and do the things that we have to do. And it makes it really tricky. It always has. It always has. Thanks, Christina. Thanks for the follow, honey. Um, for instance, what I've learned, what I've taught by, how do I put this? I challenged myself a few months ago. I said, okay, Lori, if you really think that you're trying and trying and trying hasn't helped you at all, and you are now going to do the allowing instead so that you can see that what is here in terms of spirit and energy and all of that, which is the same thing, then you're going to just do a lot of not doing in the way you know. Like you're not going to be doing the physical doing quite so much. It's a whole different orientation. And as a result, holy crap, things are going really, really well. So all this time we've been hearing, oh my God, you're supposed to beat yourself up and work really hard and kill yourself to get somewhere. The reason it hasn't worked for me is because it doesn't work. It especially doesn't work for women. Honestly, it especially doesn't work for women because we live in this culture that is based on masculine to the exclusion of the feminine without, so it's the masculine without the balance of the feminine. And anytime you're out of balance, you got a problem. There's a problem here. We've got a problem here. So, well, that was really stunning. When I first started, I saw like 10 people, like 8 people came rushing into my Substack. I'm like, that's never happened before. I have no idea if they're still here. Substack doesn't tell me that. But they're very quiet, so I would doubt it. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to start following that part of my spirituality, because my spirituality is where you hold your feet to the fire and you actually make it useful. If you cannot have your spirituality be a practically applied thing that helps you, what good is it? It becomes just another thing that lets you down, and that's not what it should be. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. And please share this out to people, because let's let people know they're not alone during this really horrible time. Really scary time in our evolution. Okay. So if you share this, I appreciate you very, very much. I appreciate you very much anyway. So then I'm like, well, if I really believe that everything is like here for me, then why would I even try? Well, because I still need to pay my rent. So there's that funny place. Hi, finest. Hi, honey. So it's that really funny place where you're like, wait, I still have the rules of life that I have to follow, but I also know a lot of the spiritual rules, like if I allow, this is going to come in. How are you, sweetheart? How are you, finest? So this is a tricky place, right? When you are right at the intersection of spiritual and practical. And this is where I live. This is where I've been living and studying and teaching for a long time. You're doing well. I'm so glad. I am so, so glad. I've been hearing some things lately that might really cheer you up. So one of them is, this was just mind blowing to me. Let me see if I can pull it out. Oh, thanks, Ethany. I really appreciate the like. So somebody was saying on a YouTube channel, it was an astrologer was talking about what's happening in our world, and especially in our country, since we're very interested in what's happening in our country. And so she was talking about what is going on, and she was talking about the E-files. Okay. She's talking about our favorite PD, Hmm. And, well, one of many, it turns out, one of many. And, what she was talking about was that these files are going to reveal not just who's been, how do I even put it? Not just who's been being inhuman, but the actual structure of that it's all the people, like almost all the people at the top that have been running our country from behind the scenes. And it is actually the e-files are like a doorway into showing what's really been going on for so long. And the point of that is that people are going to see, we're all going to finally see, we're going to all have clear vision and go, oh my God, they've been putting us against each other. They've been telling us to be afraid of the immigrants and afraid of the women and afraid of this and afraid of that. And it's really them. So there's finally going to be like a breakthrough of finally seeing with the single eye, what I would call the single eye, which is it's not about politics, motherfucker. It's about the fact that we need to care for each other. We need to care about each other. We need to care for each other. And we need to figure out that, Miss Lady, hey, honey, that we need to figure out how to live the reality that we are in one boat together. So we got to better figure out. I like it. We got to better figure out how to get to know each other in the midst of our fear of each other. We've got to start to grow our discernment, right? Like I used to trust everybody willy-nilly. I was raised in a very protected environment, not just because I'm white, but because my parents were upper middle class classical musicians, and I was in a very rarefied atmosphere, and there was and I was grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Well, not the 50s. I was born in 57, but I grew up in this very special time. And so when I started going out into the world in my 20s, I trusted everybody. It's a freaking miracle I'm still here, honest to God. I just trusted everybody. What I had to learn over time was discernment. Who to trust, how to trust. Like, in other words, what is it that might make you trustworthy? And how do I take small steps to prove to myself, steps small enough so that if you turned out not to be trustworthy, I hadn't already given you everything. Does that make sense? Have you ever done that? Have you ever just given, you're just like, I trust you, I give it to you. Take it away. So, and then there's the other side of it, of course, which is where you don't trust anybody and then you can't open to anybody. And that sucks too. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to thank you, Miss Lady. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards for the collective about where we are in this awakening process. This is something I like to do pretty much at the start of my readings, at the start of my lives, because um, I want you guys to understand that we are moving in a positive direction. We're moving in a positive direction. We are not at the end. We're at the end of the old. We're not at the end. Do you understand what I'm saying? And somebody else, so think about what I just told you about how the e-files are going to reveal the entire structure that's been hidden from us so that everybody's going to have the opportunity to wake up and go, wait a second, the world is not the way I thought it was, but like on really deep levels. And that is I caught the vision. I was like, oh my God, I see it. Because that's how complete the destruction has to be. But the destruction doesn't have to completely destroy us. Do you understand what I'm saying, or am I confusing you? Because if I'm confusing you, please tell me. Please. I always wondered, as we walked into this time, I always wondered, how on earth are we going to make this change? That makes perfect sense. Thank you. Nothing original left. God, I love that name. That's excellent. Really smart. Um, really awesome. So I'm like, how are we gonna make this happen? We've got some people who actually think that the orange nightmare is worth even talking about, and other people who wanna kiss his sneakers, and other people who are like me are like over puking in the corner. Like, what do we do? How do we get everybody to figure this out and wake up and make this shift? We're in an evolutionary shift. It's not just as if it were small. It's not just a political shift. It's a planetary human being shift. Holy crap. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Oh my God. I'm somebody who likes to define my terms. Okay. I believe in defining our terms because if you don't, then we assume that we're talking about the same thing. No. Man, I got some stories for this little tail here. You mean this little tail here? This is t this I'm told this is too long, but screw it. I knitted this and I did it without a pattern, so I am officially a badass. I don't care what anybody says. Yep, officially a badass. Um, we're in an evolutionary phase. What the fuck does it mean? What is happening? Oh, thank you, original. I love it too. It's got like a pattern and everything. Without a pattern. I did my own pattern. I can't I mean, I'm just saying. That's pretty freaking amazing. 'Cause that's like okay. Um, that's after like I don't know how many decades of knitting. My grandmother taught me to knit when I was like 7. So that's like, 2 years ago. And I don't mind my age. But anyway, I think it's seriously amazing. Thank you for joining me in my wonderment because yeah, man, I think it's pretty freaking awesome. Now, if I do that with a sweater, I might have to have a ticker tape parade because that would be, I don't know, maybe a modern miracle or something. I don't know. That would be crazy. All right. So, what does it mean that we're in an evolutionary period? Really? Abraham Hicks. Yes, I'm a total Abraham Hicks fan. In fact, Abraham Hicks, um, oh God, Abraham Hicks's work helped me in the middle of the night in 2022. I was having a major nervous breakdown. Teresa Lightfoot. What? Oh my god. Sorry, on TikTok, Substack. Holy crap. Hi. So like in the middle of the night, I'm having a major nervous breakdown and I wasn't sure I'd make it through the night. And after 40 years, 40 of clinical depression, I said to myself, I've got nothing. Like for once, I had nothing. What am I going to do? I don't want to die. See, it was like that bad. And then as I sat there in this moment of just like nothingness, and I was listening to Abraham on the what you call it on YouTube, and I thought, wait, what? The thought dropped in. Why don't I do a rampage? And for those of you who don't know Abraham and the rampages, it's like rampage of appreciation, rampage of forgiveness, rampage of self worth. It's not like a rampage at angry mob. It's not like that. Please share this out, you guys, so we can let people know they're not alone and so we can teach everybody and we can teach each other and we can understand and talk about where our power truly is because this is the time to use our power right now, y'all. Thanks, Megan. Thank you, honey. Um, and so I started writing and I ended up after 10 minutes, I was no longer in danger. I was still depressed AF, but I was no longer in danger. And then 5 days later, I had I'd kept writing all 5 days, working on this thing I came up with called the 1% solution. And now I teach that because I cured myself of 40 years of depression. And I have my friend over here who can vouch for me. Of course, you guys can't counter talk because YouTube, Substack, TikTok, but oh well. So and where was the power? The power is in our emotional body. Now, I'm not talking necessarily. Oh, thank you, Megan. Um, thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh my God, it was such a shock. I was trying to survive. I wasn't trying to come up with like a new technique. I was trying to to live through the night. And instead, boom, I'm like, okay. And then of course I spent the next 2.5 years just like working with that whole thing and understanding what had happened and putting it into action and stuff. which is, it's funny. Anytime you make a quantum leap, anytime you make a paradigm shift, what's interesting about it is that it, while it's amazing, it doesn't feel as odd as you think it will. It feels more like a not like a logical next step, which is really interesting, kind of fascinating. Um, and if you're not paying attention, somebody may go, "How did you do that?" And you're like, I don't know how I did that. I don't have a clue. I don't have any idea." So, but I've been paying attention for a while because personal growth and practical spirituality are my jam. And if you cannot make spirituality practical, it's useless. It's just another piece of religious dogma, and we have had enough. Now let's talk about our strength, where our power is. Our power is in our energetic field. Very Abraham Hicks, very much part of the emotional and sensory and feeling kind of thing. Thank you, Megan. Yes. So, and Heather, welcome. Um, Now, how could that be so? How does that even work? All right. Now, I read something some time ago, and it was about a person who did not believe in this vibrational power at all. And they were like, wait a minute, this can't be, because how could my energy impact anything outside of me? That's not possible. Can't do it. Can't happen. And so this person who they were talking to said, have you ever had an EKG? And they went, yeah. And that person said to them, well, they don't have to cut you open to get your energy, do they? They just put the little marky things on you. And so this person's mind was blown, and they were going, oh my God, that's amazing. And that is how consciousness growth happens. That's how it works. It's not, oh my God, you're a dumbass, you didn't know. It's, oh my God, thank goodness, a new idea, a new piece of consciousness and awareness has risen up in my being and shown me something that has expanded my understanding and made me more than I was. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that the most amazing thing ever? I think that's amazing because our culture, we have been taught to be really mean to ourselves. We've been taught to doubt ourselves chronically every minute. Oh, I just said something. Should I have said that thing? Did I say it right? Was it okay? Do they hate me now? They probably hate me now. Sound familiar? Like, this is what we've been enculturated to do. And it's a terrible thing. It keeps you from being happy. It keeps you from being self-confident. So real self-confidence is when you can just be you and you are not shoulding on yourselves. Shoulding. You should have done this. You should have said that. You should have been this way. You should have been that way. Right? Finest says collective connecting the dots. Yes. You know, here's what I'm getting out of collective connecting the dots. Anytime that my consciousness rises, anytime I get an epiphany and I go, oh, I understand. One thing I now know because of my experience with curing myself of clinical depression after 40 freaking miserable years is that positive energy. I'm not telling you have to be positive. Hold your horses if you're immediately thinking that, okay? But higher frequency vibration, higher frequency energy is so unimaginably powerful that what it does is it comes in and the dark is gone. Like I was going to say it pushes out the dark, but that gave me an image of the light having to be forceful and push out the dark, but it's not like that. It's just like, it's like at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's pitch black. And then the sun starts to come up and it starts to become a really dark gray. And then it starts to become a lighter gray. And then it becomes an even lighter gray. And then it becomes kind of a light blue. And right. That's how it is within us vibrationally. That's literally how our systems work. We are electromagnetic frequencies. And this is the evolution that we're in. And it's a consciousness evolution, guys. It's a consciousness evolution. So we're going from, oh, I'm only human. I can't help but be a mess because I'm only human, to I'm energy first. My personality is energy. And energy is a lot easier to work with than the physical body alone. The physical body alone is going to get tired. The energy goes out and does all kinds of stuff for you. That's incredible. You know what? I'm going to get very dark here in a second. So I'm just going to go grab a light real quickly. It might even just be right over here. Wouldn't that be nice? Ooh, it is. I love it when that happens. That's really good. So the question is, of course, how do you tap your energy and how do you work with it and how do you raise it? I mean, if you have watched Abraham Hicks at all, then you've watched a lot about this kind of thing. If you haven't, don't worry about it. But I just want to talk to my Abraham people for a second. I know I watched Abraham Hicks for a very, very, very long time and still didn't know how to make it apply to my life, right? Isn't this the same as any kind of spiritual situation? You're like, well, that sounds good. Like we're all one. We're all made of the same energy. We're all one. That sounds nice. But how do I make use of that information? Is that any good to me? What about if somebody says to me, um, all you have to do is trust your heart? That doesn't help me. That does not help me. Oh, Megan, don't even think that time applies once you start working at this. Seriously, seriously. And everything that for me, my path, I've always wanted to be a really major public speaker. And so I do public speaking, but I want to be paid. And I haven't been well paid yet, but I will. So I've known throughout my life that, or at least I've hoped, that's much more correct. I've hoped throughout my life that by living what I was living, I would at least have a lot of things to teach because I could honestly tell people how I'd gotten through, how I'd learned, how my consciousness had opened, and this and that and the other thing. I mean, I've walked through homelessness in my 50s, baby. So I'm telling you, that was my path. Now, your path is your path. And that means as you start working with your energy, time kind of goes away. I mean, if you think about it, right? The 40 years of clinical depression, 5 days to heal. That is the amount to which light is stronger. But we have to put it into action. We have to actually engage with it. We actually have to engage with it. So the first thing we have to be able and willing to do is to feel, to sense, to stop putting ourselves out of the room. This is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. This is how you get to be close to yourself. This is how you stop hating yourself and start getting curious about yourself. If you want to get to liking yourself, never mind loving yourself. But if you want to get to liking yourself, you've got to start by being able to be with yourself. And we haven't been taught how to do that. We've been taught everything, but we've been taught, judge yourself against that 20-year-old size 2, blonde, white, blue-eyed, whatever. Like, right? We've been taught to judge ourselves against everything that's quote unquote better. And none of it has been about who we truly are. And when I say that, I'm not talking incredibly mystically. To me, everything's mystic, but okay. I'm talking about who are you as a person? Like, are you a decent human? Do you care about others? Do you help other people? Do you help, um, are you part of making things better? Or are you part of being somebody who's a friend with the orange nightmare? In which case you would not be sitting here. That's what's important about us. That's what's important. Again, my name's Lori Kirstein. I'm with the Goodbye Good Girl Project, so called because the rules we've been taught religiously, spiritually, socially are 99 to 100% bullshit. And the real rules are ones that we're writing now. And so I help women and men, especially women, to stand in a whole different way of understanding who they are. Experientially, I use lots of different things, but one of them is my acting. I get people on their feet. And when you can start to say things in a way that you didn't know you could express yourself, suddenly you see yourself differently. Suddenly you're not like, I'll be there someday. Now you're like, oh shit, I'm doing it now, which is cool, right? Really, really cool. So please share this out if you would. Let's let other people know they're not alone in crazy times. And thank you for any likes for here on TikTok. That'll send me out to the FYP. I've only been on TikTok for like 6 months. I had no idea what the heck TikTok was all about. And then I got on it and went, oh, this is cool. I like it over here. This is cool. And I've met some of the most lovely, lovely, lovely people over here. So even though they're trying to destroy it, I'll stay here as absolutely long as I can. And if you want to find me on YouTube and if you want to find me on Substack, it's at Goodbye Good Girl Project. Okay? At Goodbye Good Girl Project. Okay, let's do a reading for the collective about where we are and where we're headed. Ooh, I just got a little bit of a rush. Okay. So sometimes cards will come out reversed. For me, this is not a negative. For me, the way I read cards, this is more about like a more intense inner personal growth. So the card that defines us as a collective right now is the Knight of Wands. And because it's upside down, because it came out reversed, what this is talking about is that we are, boy, and doesn't this feels very right to me. We are headed so quickly into a redefinition of who the hell we are. We're like, oh my God. It's like you're on an ice floe that's melting, and over here there's another ice floe that you could maybe jump to. So you're like trying to plan, what do I have to become in order to have the strength and the vision to be able to jump to that new ice flow? Kind of a weird idea, but there you go anyway. And also in reverse, crossing that card is justice, the justice. And so this for me means that we are having to try to find balance. We're having to try to find balance, which given my ice flow idea, that kind of makes sense. We're trying to get our balance. We're trying, because it takes a lot, you guys. It takes a lot to go from here's the way our world has always been, and now here's where we're going, but we don't quite know where we're going. Right? It's scary AF. It's really scary. I know. I've been through that kind of thing in some really serious, grounded ways, like when I had to go off of food stamps. Oh God, I was like, like, wait a minute, but I'm not making a bunch of money. Cause you get to a certain point and they go, you're off the food stamps. And in these days, it's good to be on the food stamps if you can. So like this is a number of years ago, but still, it took a lot of courage to get my foot off of that ice flow and trust that the low paying job I was taking I was going to survive. And I did. I did. Okay. Above us is success. Just success. The world is at our feet. Now, this also came out reversed. So I'm curious to see if this turns out to be about opening to our higher selves too, because everything you've been taught, everything I've been taught, everything anybody's been taught about religion is really a whole lot of hogwash. The Bible, the Kabbalah, the Vedas, they've all been misread. They've all been translated, so to speak, as stories that is supposed to tell you something by way of a story that supposedly happened. None of the stories happened. They are allegory, and the Bible itself says Jesus doesn't say anything but in allegory, and that means they're not real stories. They're representative of something, and that's pretty freaking awesome. Oh, shoot. I didn't see if this came out upside down or not. But here's what's underneath us is the Hermit. Are you feeling tired right now? Are you feeling really super sleepy? I am. I don't mean at just this moment, but these days. Are you aware of what's going on astrologically right now? Because it's freaking big. It's freaking ridiculous, off the chart huge. Like it's never happened before. I mean this quite literally. The alignment of planets that is coming on the 17th, 5 days from now, the astrologers who know about this stuff, I only know enough to be dangerous, and I can report to you from others, from astrologers. But what's happening in 5 days planetarily is so effing new that, Lilith, I'll get to you in a second, baby. Or Caitlin, it's so big that what's being given to us on a vibrational level is an upgrade. So if you're finding that you're having a whole lot of old stuff coming up, because like I did the other day, I just felt like everything about who I used to be just just came up in my face, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why am I feeling this? Freak. I was like, no, calm down, Lori. Calm down. This is not. Now, Lori, this is not who you are. This is something that you are walking through. You now know this, not know this. You know this. I'm like, okay. Um, and with this 17th situation coming up, it makes sense that anything that's really old that troubled you, if it's back, don't freak out. It's here for you to make a choice. It's here for you to say to yourself, it's this simple. You're going to say to yourself, yeah, I don't need that. In moving forward in my life, I don't need that. I don't want that. That's not mine. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I'm done. Because we're literally walking into a new us. Okay. Now it's not like you're going to wake up in the morning and go, who am I? I don't know who I am. It's not like that. But my delicious friend, Teresa, came to me and said something the other day that I never thought she'd ever say. It was just a complete strengthening of a certain part of her that she had not embraced before. And I was like, hello, we've got some new stuff happening over here. Okay. The wind behind us is the high priestess. The high priestess knows her stuff. Wouldn't that be awesome, Megan? Who am I? Where am I? What's my name? I think I'll call myself Bruce. Like something. Wouldn't that be funny? Who am I? So this is the wind at our back. Is this is so exciting. The high priestess is pure spirit, and pure spirit is energy. Forget thinking that the divine, that God is in the shape of a person. This is not the deal. It's not how it is. That's not how, I'm sorry. I know it's a hard image to let go of, but God is energy. God is pure positive love energy. And here's what's in front of us. And this did come out reversed, which means it's us. It's our internal shift. Brand new beginning, baby. Brand freaking new. We don't know what's going to happen. But I'm here to tell you that because we've got this card, the world card above us, we are headed for nothing but good. You like my hat? Thank you. Knitted it myself. No pattern. Just did it. I'm saying I'm a knitting badass. Okay. So we are headed towards incredible good. Stop panicking. Because not only are we headed for so much good stuff, but the minute you reduce your panic by like 1%, you've served your nervous system. It's a good thing, right? Let me be kind to my nervous system. You've not only served your nervous system, but you've also just upgraded the collective's energy. And do you know how much energy it takes? Do you know how much energy it would take for us to shift the world, our country tomorrow? Literally tomorrow. I mean, like, you wake up tomorrow and go, what the hell happened? Everything's great. According to Greg Braden, the physicist, who's also a spiritual guy, because physics and metaphysics, hello, like quantum physics and metaphysics is the same freaking thing. It's the same freaking thing. He says it would take 8.3% people on the planet to awaken, and the country and the world would be changed, would be materially transformed. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know why, because when he was talking about that in some video or other, I thought he was gonna say it'll only take 42% of the whole world. No, 8.3% of the whole world, not just the country. The world. I think we're already on our way, Bartholomew, yes. Very much. I think we're getting there. See, here's what's happening. Thank you for the question because that's a gorgeous question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, you know what I love about that question, Bartholomew, is that it expresses the doubt that we all naturally feel, right? We're all like, ah, this is not a fun ride. Like, are we sure we're going to get through this? And that's a fair question. And the answer is yes, absolutely. Here's what's happening. Um, does it really? Does that sound strikingly familiar to the number of people that need to shift for meaningful change? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, yeah. Must be. Although I hadn't heard that one. So if you've got something to quote on that, like a link to go to learn about that, that'd be cool. Uh oh, US people. Okay. Us people. Okay, got it. uh something if I can't tell what it is, but any movement. Um Finest? I don't think that typed like you wanted it to type. Oh, Caitlin. You wanted to know about your working for your father. Well, I'm gonna tell you, first of all, absolutely. Um, and I'm also gonna tell you that you may not know it yet, but it's the bright light of your consciousness that makes it all happen. And your bright light of your consciousness, which is what I'm seeing when I tune into you, has nothing to do with your personality, and it has nothing to do with how well or not well you're doing in life or how much money or how little money you have. It has nothing to do with anything. It's your identity. It's who you are. I wouldn't be at all surprised if you told me that you are a very naturally sunny disposition. Not that you have to be, but you are quite powerful. You're quite powerful. Um, And so what you wanna do, and this is really the trick for all of us, is to be able to, and this is what I call double vision. You're able to see where you're standing. Very intuitive? Cool. You need to see where you're standing in your life and take the right next step to be moving forward, but always keeping your vision on the most amazing idea, most amazing vision of who you want to be and who you really are. Because that's the light that shines on better and better stuff. That's the light that dispels any darkness that's trying to get in the way. That's once we understand that we are absolutely able to play like children and that's 60 million times more powerful than efforting our freaking butts off, now we're living a spiritual life. And it takes some work, but why? Not because you have to effort more. No, it takes work because we've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed to believe things that are completely out of alignment with the kind of consciousness, understanding, realizations, and self alignment that we really need if we want to be using our personal power. Thanks, Tasha. Thank you very much. Vibe and vision, like that. Oh, thank you, baby. Hello, heart. I got a heart over in TikTok. Hello. Okay, so the next card about us. We need to take a bit of a load off, okay? Aw, thanks, Tasha. You're so sweet. Thank you, babe. We need to chill out a bit, y'all. How are you, sweetheart? Um, yeah, guys, please share this out. Let's make sure other people know we're here and that we're talking about the stuff that actually changes the country. It actually changes the world. It actually changes your own life. I can attest. You're doing fine? That's good. That's a big deal these days. Really big deal these days. Um, yeah, thanks for the FYP thing. So we need this is like mental exhaustion, okay? Mental exhaustion, it's time to take a little bit of a load off. So, a little bit of Netflix, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of, sex, what if you've got a partner, like a little bit of something that makes you feel good, a little bit of reading, a little bit of drawing or whatever it is that you do, okay? Um, we're not quite yet. Okay, this is Queen of Cups and this is the environment we're in right now. And the Queen of Cups, she really is mature emotionally. She knows herself. She knows how she feels. She knows a lot about how to deal with her emotions, but not deal with them like problem children, more like use them to become a real seriously mature force for good in the world, in your own world with your little group of friends or your big group of friends or your TikTok and your Substack. Um, but it came out reversed, and so that means we are in an environment, and I don't think this will come as a surprise to any of us, that we don't really understand how to deal with emotions. Because not one person in our life sat us down and said, "Here's how you deal with the internal vibrations. Here's how you deal with the whiplash from it. Here's what you do if somebody hurts you. Here's how you can see it in a way that is very healthy." Nobody did that for us. So we have to do it for us. And so that's part of what I do. I'm one of those teachers who talks about that. There are others, but I'm one of them too. So just letting you know. Okay. What we are hoping and fearing for is that balance. This is temperance. This is a temperance card. Aren't these cards gorgeous? I just love them. Just love them. Um, and it came out upside down. So that means that what we're really afraid of is like a new balance, a new way of looking at ourselves. Of course we are. Have you ever seen a kid come out and not out of its womb, out of the mother's womb and not cry? I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but it's the same idea. It's like, "Oh, shit, I'm in a totally new place." Of course you're gonna be scared, unless you're like the Zen baby. Are you the Zen baby? That'd be cool. Wah! Wah! That'd be pretty awesome, I just gotta say. That'd be awesome. So, where we're headed, the outcome card for us as a human collective, we are headed to that wisdom. We are headed to a much more emotionally aligned place, which is what we need. We need it so badly. Why? Because we've been living in a masculine only format. For the last 2,600 years, we've been living from the idea that you have to be very masculine and that the feminine is evil, bad. Religion will tell you in a heartbeat that women don't count. It's not that important. And certainly in our country these days, if you haven't been paying attention, 1,000 or more survivors, the overwhelming majority of whom are women or were girls. So let's get real. Let's speak the truth. And women are waking up and they're going, "I'm sorry, I'm not subscribing to that ridiculousness anymore. I can't allow that." Like I can't, for me, as a first wave feminist, can I tell you how freaking awesome that is? I'm so happy. I'm so freaking happy about that. So here's the deal. Two sides of the brain, right? Two sides of the brain. We all know we have two sides of the brain. You're like, "So what, Lori? What are you talking about the brain for?" Okay. Megan goes, "Hello." The left side is your masculine. It's goals, strategies, that kind of thing, okay? It's intellectual. The feminine side is the emotional, the intuitive, the inspirational, the epiphanies. Sorry to tell us all, but I'm not really sorry. Do you know how have you ever heard throughout your life? Because I sure did. We're only using 10% of our brain. You ever wonder about that? What do you mean I'm only using 10% of my brain? What's the rest of it doing? Taking a nap? Like, what? I don't understand. Well, it turns out that it is taking a nap, or it was, because we've been taught to avoid it like crazy. That's actually the lesson of the Adam and Eve story in the Bible. Um, but more about that in a minute. And it's wrong. Like, we need to have both sides. The feminine has come back online because we're in an evolutionary period. So the feminine, the 90% of our brain is online big time. And people are freaking the F out. They're freaking out because suddenly they're more sensitive. They're freaking out because lots of truths are coming out. And the masculine, which has been going, we're all that. We don't need you. Really? You don't need that. Uh-huh. Sure. Okay. Well, try being without it. And then you've got all these little boys out there going, oh, these women won't date me and they're going to be so lonely. Not really. Not without you. We don't like to sleep with little boys. We're not that. So, time for everybody to grow up and take a stand and make it for ourselves, to say, this is what I'm worth. Do you know how hard that is for women traditionally? In the years that I've been around, that has been the world's hardest thing for women to do, is to say, I'm worthy of whatever the hell I say I'm worthy of. Like, I should give myself respect in your own physical body. If you are sensitive to it, when you're out and about in the world and you are, thank you, user 38. Mwah. When you're out and about in the world and you are feeling yourself sort of pull back, you're feeling yourself like you're trying to say really brave things. If you are focusing at the same time on your body and you're feeling like, ugh, that's the training. The training is oh no, because that's the setting. It's called the emotional setting. It's what Abraham calls your emotional set point. Your emotional set point. So, how do you shift that emotional set point? How do you get from to just calm, knowing who you are, confidence? How do you get there? How do you get there? I mean, what have you tried? I started with like workshops. I wanted to understand how I could go out into the world and feel better about me. And I wanted it to be from the core of me on out. But I found that when I went to the workshops, I was happy as hell because I could be truly authentic, which is totally me. And I could be experiencing things and I could be having a wonderful time and growing. But then I would go back into my so-called real life. And then I would be like, "Ugh," again. Thanks for the follow, Chris. My name's Lori. I'm with the Goodbye Good Girl Project. And we break all the rules that were laid on us that hold us back. Exercise. That's great. Yes. Any time that you can move your body and this is something that's really important in acting, which you can use for personal growth. Actors, because I'm also an actor. So actors will take a script and they will to memorize their lines, they will be reciting their lines while they're doing the dishes, while they're driving, while they're taking a walk, doing all kinds of different things because it hits your body differently. Those emotions that you are feeling as you are practicing that script are different based on what you are doing. Makes sense, right? I mean, you feel different when you're doing the dishes versus when you're out taking a walk. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a whole thing. So starting to involve your body in your life, which is funny. It's really ironic. We've been taught that we are only human. Big fat lie. big fat effing lie, but we've been taught that. You're only human. Oh, I got a rose. Thanks, Chris. Oh, yay. Um, you're not only human. You're actually barely human because you're actually energy first. That's your actual identity. You are energy. You are made of that energy which creates worlds. And you're still umbilically connected to it and always will be because it's who you, it's like the actual, that's what this is made of. It's fascinating. It's physics and metaphysics. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You can go look shit up on, I don't know, Claude.ai and prove it to yourself. Pretty awesome stuff. It's awesome because it is what we are doing here at this time, especially, is to make that shift from thinking I'm only human to understanding where our real power lies. And it is in energy. It is in vibration. That's where our identity is. You can actually feel what it feels like to be you. Shelly's here. Hi, Shelly. Good to see you, honey. What does it feel like to be you? You know, for 40 years, I would say, "Oh, well, it feels like crap to be me because I'm, hey, honey, you know, because I'm depressed all the time." But I also could say I also know I'm an insanely creative person. I know what creativity feels like. If you've never done that, ask, what is it like to be you? Maybe you're a science person. Maybe you're a math person. Maybe, I don't know, whoever you are, it's going to feel like this is how it feels to be me. And then you can start to ask, what does it feel like to be me when I'm really happy? When I'm really at that high place, how does it feel to be me? And the more aware you can become of how that feels, you may not feel it always physically. You may sense it. You may get an image. You may hear a sound. You may see color. Everybody does this differently. There's nothing you can do about this that is wrong, okay? This is about coming into consciousness about what does it mean to be me? What does it feel like to be me? Because we've been doing this with our feelings. Somebody goes, "Hey, how are you?" "Fine." Bullshit. How are you? How are you? Now, you don't wanna know how everybody is, right? Like, you know, you pass somebody on the street and you kind of reflexively go, "Hi, how are you?" You're not really asking how they are. But if it's a friend, "How are you?" You'd like to know. Close friend, you really wanna know. A lot of people, they don't even know how they are. "Hey, Francis, I'm fabulous. How are you?" I'm very excited because I've been getting all of this amazing good morning, good evening. Where are you, Francis? It's evening where I am. Um, oh, I lost my here. There we are. There are my people. Um, I've got Substack over here and TikTok over here, so I'm kind of bouncing back. You're from Africa. Well, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. Very nice. Very nice. Are things feeling rather good over there or troublesome or like I have not kept track of what's happening in Africa, but here in the US, of course, it's kind of a shit show. But that's because we are moving from really crappy to really good. Let me explain something to you guys. Oh, you're so very welcome. It's my pleasure. So let me introduce myself to Datha. I'm Lori with the Goodbye Good Girl Project, and we here question all the rules that we've been taught that repress us. And we come out and go, here's who we are, here's how we're getting there. And I teach something called the 1% solution, which cured me of 40 years of clinical depression in 5 days. So I didn't set out to create anything. I set out to survive and ended up with something to teach, which is, well, I got lots to teach. Um, thank you. I've also got tarot cards. So if anybody is going, I really want to see deeper into myself, we will see what the tarot has to say. And that's the good thing. Now, here is, Moradora, my Moradora. I'm going to repeat this for those of you who weren't here earlier, because I find this so madly hopeful and helpful. And I'm going to add some stuff too, so you won't be bored if you heard it before. Back in World War I and back in World War II, people just like you and me were not knowing if they were going to ever come out of that time also. They had no idea what was going to happen. They were freaked out, uncertain, and just just the same way that you're probably feeling these days, right? And harm was done, just like now when harm is being done. But they came out of it, didn't they? And that is what happens in human experience over and over again. That's human evolution. We've got little evolutions, and then we've got the big 2,600-year evolution that is an age. It's called an age. Um, in India, they call it a yuga, Y-U-G-A. A yuga is roughly 2,600 years. So you remember 2,600 years ago? Remember that? We were sitting around the campfire. Okay, so here's how this works. Imagine we're in the dark ages when there was like no food. Like the dark ages were seriously freaking dark. And so you start making your way up. You've got people who live their whole lifetimes in this darkness. And it's getting, oh, you're very welcome, Francis. Thank you. And as you're starting to come up, as you're starting to, cycle up, because it's always an upward cycle, because that's how energy works. That's how the light works. And so then you come into another time and you come into um, the Renaissance with its incredible artwork. And oh my God, Raphael and Michelangelo and women artists that nobody will talk about because we've been stuck in church bullshit for too long. And all of that, but we come up and we come up and we come up. Then we come up into this time. And we're like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel like up, Lori. What the hell? What is happening? That's because we're coming to the end of one cycle and we now have to start a new one. But let me explain something to you. We don't start back at the bottom. We don't go back to a dark ages. That's not how it works. We start here. But in order to start over, the old has to die. Everything that was crap has got to go. It's got to go. For me, this keeps me balanced and keeps my nervous system calm in a way that I looked for, because I was freaking out. And living every day freaked out is not my idea of a good time. Plus, the more I live freaked out without confronting that and trying to do something different, looking for a solution, the more I'm just weighting down the boat, so to speak, right? The more I'm just like pulling everything down. And I want to be more a help. Doesn't mean I have to become the chippiest, cheeriest person on the whole planet. That's not what it means. But if I can just be on that path of realizing that I can, hi, Jan, of just realizing that if I can just give myself a little relief. This is not about becoming the most cheerful person on the planet. This is not about becoming the most enlightened person on the planet. I'm telling you, this much better feeling energy is enough. It's enough to transform you. And it's enough to be of incredible use to the collective. So you're never being selfish. Isn't that nice? You're never, ever, ever being selfish. All you can do is serve. You can't help it. I love that idea. That makes me happy. And I like things that make me happy. And I used to not. I used to feel like I wasn't allowed to be happy. 40 years of depression, that'll tell you the state of mind I used to be in. And I know I ain't alone. I know. Depression is like one of the world's biggest epidemics. And I think it's because we have not been engaging that 90% of our brain, of the feminine, listening to ourselves, reaching for a way of understanding the world, of understanding life, of understanding energy, of understanding ourselves. I don't think we've done that. And now we have to do that. There's really no other way to go. The ice floe we've been standing on is getting smaller and smaller. We have to jump now. Time to jump. Those people who are doubling down on, "Hi, I want to believe that being, small-minded and greedy is a really great way to go," they gonna get wet. It's just gonna be hard for them. I don't wish this for them, even though I'm pissed at them. I don't wish it for them, but I do wish that they'll wake up. Maybe falling into the cold water will wake them up. I don't know. It's possible. Possible. By the way, if any of you are, women in business, whether you're working for somebody else or working for yourself, I have an empowerment group for women in business every Thursday. It's free. Sorry, guys, it's not for you. It is for women. It's 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, U.S. time. So women, I've got that. And if you want that, if you're like, "Ooh, I'd love to be a part of that," just let me know and I will get you the link to sign up. And I have to, yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's that. Just want to let you know. And please share this out so people know that they're not alone in crazy times. Please, please. Also, that helps the algorithms go, "I think I noticed her. Oh my God, she's here. I'm here." I have a friend named Devin who I don't think he knows that I'm on right now, but I said to him once, "So what is it that you're enjoying about my lives?" And he goes, "Well, you have really funny accents." Thank you, Shelley. He lives in Minneapolis. He lives like 7 blocks from where Alex Preddy was removed from us. Oh, thanks for the share, Shelley. Thank you. And so, but I remember, like I don't do that enough. I thought I need to have more fun. So I love accents. And I'd love to know where all of you are from. And if you think you have an accent, like I grew up watching TV in the Midwest with all of like watching the national news with like Walter Cronkite. Some of you are probably too young to even know who that is. And all of these other people who had a very sort of vanillaized. Holy shit. Hold on a sec. I got to respond to that. Um, wow. Hold on a second. Okay, I gotta switch gears because Amanda San Diego just said, "I just came from a concentration camp protest. God bless you." Kristi Noem was speaking. Fuck that bitch. Honest, I'm sorry, I just gotta be honest about that. That woman is insane. And I even had another thought today. I mean, I actually feel sorry for her on one level. She's not in for a good time. And I really do feel sorry for us humans generally because nobody gave us the book when we came in. Nobody gave us the instruction manual and they went, "Here you go. Here you go." And then we turned like 16, 17, 18. "Here you go. Good luck communicating. Good luck figuring out how to do anything." You're like, "What the hell? I don't know what to do." And so you're looking at your friends and they don't know what to do. And, you're all just like stumbling, bumbling along. So I feel sorry for her as a fellow human. Yes. Thank you for protesting. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm of Jewish descent, and, I can't deal with it, and it's not just the Jewish thing, it's the kids thing. I can't deal with that either. So, I know that I have to that my work is constant. I don't mean every moment of the day, but close. Like, my work is constant to make sure that my nervous system is good, to be sure that I'm in a better place than an awfuler place. Because that's what it takes. Different century, same playbook, yeah. Where are you in the Midwest, Chris? I'm in Ohio. I actually had I mean, what Kristi Noem did the other day, I just caught a few. clips of it, and that was enough for me to understand what people were saying. "Oh, your daughter's in Cleveland?" My dad was from Cleveland. "Is she going to school?" "Oklahoma." "Nice." Drove through it once. Took a long time. Oof. Wow. Yeah, that totally threw me. The thought of us having concentration camps in this country, and I know we've had them, and I got into a screaming match. The last time orange dump truck, Midwestern people are the best. We're the heart of the country. What can I say? We are. It's a very real thing. Um, the last time the dump truck had stolen election, um, I went into a place to go get, oh, communications is my thing. Can you tell? That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Communications director. Yeah, baby. I went in to get some coffee at this gas place. And there's a woman there that I had seen for months and months and months who took the money and all that. And she's married to an immigrant. She was in her 50s and she'd just gotten married to an immigrant. And she was saying how good it was that they were locking up children, taking them from their families and locking them. My heart was exploding and dying. And she said that, and the incredible, I don't have the words for it. You guys can fill in the blanks, but I was like, it's abuse. Like I was just like screaming, and she's going, they should know better. And I'm like, oh, the cognitive dissonance just exploded in my head, and I left yelling, it's abuse, it's theft, it's whatever I was yelling. What I wanted to yell was some really interesting words that would have made me worse than my enemy. So I try to be better than my enemy. I try to represent. Holy crap. Thank you for everybody who has stood up in any way that you've been able to, because it really doesn't matter. There's enough of us. There's enough of us that whatever way you can stand up, that's good enough. You come from a family of actors. Yay. Oh my God, Chris. Yeah, every act of resistance matters. And I'm telling you, if it only takes 8.3% of all of the humans on the whole freaking planet, 8.3%, if that's all it takes to turn the world around literally overnight, think about that practically. Think about that practically. Like that, I love it. That makes my heart open. It blows my mind. I'm like, Jesus, God, what if enough of us woke up and went, oh, I get it. All of this source, all of this trouble, all of this, fighting and hating and being pissed off. And it actually is a choice. And so I'm choosing, yeah, no, never mind. It would be like having it would be like having 8.3% of enlightened masters. Let me tell you, I've sat with enlightened masters for like the last 30, 40 years. And that energy is off the freaking chain. Hey, thank you, Auntie, for the follow. And Chris, thanks for the like. Yeah, literally, that's what changes things. It's so hard for us to understand. It's so hard because we're like, wait, I don't understand. I thought I had to effort. I've been looking for a job for a year. I've been applying for jobs, like 1,200 jobs a day, and I'm getting no interviews. So how could it be possible that something would be easy? It doesn't make sense to our minds. But that is the evolution we're in. We're getting to the place where we're starting to see more and more and more information about how we are energy first, and we can switch little by little, little by little, little by little. We can start to trend in the direction of playing with our emotion, playing with, can I shift this? Can I how do I shift this? How do I give myself a little bit of relief? When I've got all of these reasons that I shouldn't. "Oh, you're not worthy. You can't do that. No, you're not worthy. Oh, you can't do that," because you've got this pattern. So you have to heal the pattern first. No, you don't. That's just another belief, and I wanna tell you, we are so powerful. Whatever we believe is what is. In other words, the quality of what we're believing, I'm not talking about a specific belief like, "Oh, I believe this about money or this about relationships." Just generally, the soup of our energy, our feelings, our beliefs, our thoughts, all of that put together is what goes out and attracts other energies of similar families of energy. It's not like you go out and you go, "I'd love to be sick. I'd love to do that. I'd love to go broke." It's not like you're doing that. Your energy, though, is going out and doing this. Now, I do think that along with that, there is what our souls came here to experience. I think that our oversoul, if you will, okay, I'll use me as an example. I remember as a kid, even though I was raised upper middle class, I was always terrified of poverty. Why? I don't know, but you know what? It does not matter. I was always terrified of poverty. So even when my parents died and left me some money, I was still terrified of poverty. And you know what happened? All that money went away. It all went away. Now, for a long time, I was in incredible shame, incredible pain, incredible fear, and all the rest of it. And that was one of the most growthful periods of my life because I made it be growthful. I was like, I'm not going down without a fight. And I was looking for people who would help. And I was being brave at the same time as I felt like somebody should probably put me out of my misery and all the rest of it. But I was goddamn determined that if I was going to waste all of this natural promise by having effed up my life so royally, that I wasn't going to go down without a fight. If I was not going to succeed, it wouldn't be for lack of damn trying. And that was in my 50s. So I think you can imagine how damn difficult it was to be in that place at that time of my life when other friends are going, I've only got 10 years left and I'm retiring. I'm like, what the fuck is retirement? I don't even know what that is. And I'm not really looking for retirement in the way we think of it, but that's a whole other show. That's a whole other story. Thanks for the like, Sarah. My name's Lori. I'm with the Goodbye Good Girl Project. And what we do here is we unhook you from the rules that oppress you, from the brainwashing. And we put you into an actual action. Well, let me see things differently and then let me do things differently. And then I will know myself differently. And that's when your life changes. Life changes from the inside out. Yes, I do, Amanda. Yes, I really do. Thank you for asking. In case anybody's still here on what am I talking about? Substack. The question is, do you have any advice on transmuting fear? Okay. So when I was in the middle of the night, going down for the third time, not sure if I was going to make it through the night alive, had no more guardrails, had no more anything that I could do. And you want to talk about fear? Yeah, massive, massive. And my whole body was like all tight um, and I mean, what depression isn't just a mental thing. It's a whole body experience. Lots of things are whole body experiences. Certainly depression among them. And so here is what I did. I will answer you by telling you this story. Okay. And then if you have questions, please ask me. Okay. And this is what I call the 1% solution. You feel terrified. You feel scared. You feel overwhelmed. It's like a tsunami of feeling that is very uncomfortable. That's fear. Whatever you're feeling in the present moment, whenever it's fear, One okay, hold on, I was gonna tell you the story. Okay, so there I was, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, didn't know if I'd survive, and I picked up a journal and I wrote how I was feeling. I very frightened. I do not know. Hi, Teresa. I do not know if I'm gonna make it, and this is awful. I don't know what to do, but God, I need something to save me. Something's gotta oh my God, you know? And I remembered that Abraham Hicks says, "You just need a slightly better feeling thought." Now, I'd heard that for decades because 'cause I'd watched Abraham on and off for decades. "You just need a slightly better feeling thought." I'm like, "That sounds nice. How do I freaking do it?" Well, here I was in this moment where I was going down for the count, and I really wasn't sure. I knew that I was getting to a place of pain where there would be no other option but to kinda leave, and I didn't wanna do that, and I'd already been to the emergency room, like, it was serious shit happening. So I wrote that, "This is what's fricking happening. Hi, Teresa." And then, like, "I need a better feeling thought." I'm like, of course, the first thing my head thought was, "What the hell? You must be joking. I'm goddamn drowning here in terror and depression, and I don't know what to do." But I had nothing else, and so I couldn't push away what I was feeling. This is key, this turns out to have been key. Don't push away what you're feeling. Think of it as fear is the worst party guest you ever had in your life. Absolutely, if fear is the thing that you're trying to work through, fear is the worst fricking party guest you ever had in your life, and it's just you and her, and you're like, "What the hell, bitch? Why are you here?" And she's like, "I'm here." And you're like, "Oh, man, I can't get rid of her," you know? So what do you do? Well, what you do is you invite another friend to the party, but it's somebody you already know. It's gotta be somebody you already know. And what I'm talking about is a better feeling thought. What mine was, okay, and now this is not gonna sound groundbreaking to you, all right? I'm telling you, it's not gonna sound groundbreaking. But anytime you have this much of a better feeling thought, when you're in the middle of feeling something really scary or hard, you're cooking with gas. So my thought was, I think I might just be a badass because 'cause I'm hanging in here and I've done this shit for 40 years and I haven't unalived myself. I might just be a badass. And when I said that, when I wrote that, I could feel the impact in my body. What you have to do with fear, what you have to do with depression, what you have to do with confusion. It you If you can manage to do this, to let your emotion be there, to let the sensations be there, to not be so busy fighting them that you cannot simultaneously invite a feeling or a thought that you already know you feel a little better about. I love the way light on the trees in the spring looks and feels that first day after the winter when you're so freaking tired of snow and cold and you open your window and here comes the breeze. And that does something to me inside. That shifts my internal vibrational experience. And you are vibration. So when you are shifting that, just by inviting in a slightly better feeling thought, a slight relief, that light, that energy is what actually changes everything for you. You don't have to work so hard. The other thing that it does for you, what a side benefit, is it ups your self confidence. You know why? It ups your self confidence because you've just given attention to yourself. You've just paid attention to how you're feeling. You have done it without beating the crap out of yourself. You have brought in somebody better to your internal party and you've watched their light shine so radiantly. They've come in like this tiny person came in and suddenly the darkness is just it's a little less it's oh wait it's even more less oh it's even less dark. Wow, fantastic. It's really something else. Does that answer your question? I hope that answers your question. If not, um, let me know. Oh, here, let me unblock, confirm. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's hi, goodbye. You're tearing up. Aw. Oh, Amanda, that is so meaningful to me. That is meaningful to me because I love that analogy and I've never known if it was landing for people. And now you're telling me it did for you. So, yeah, the problem that we have is we have been taught to personalize what we feel, so profoundly personalize it that we have no oxygen between us and it. And that's why the great beings have told us to meditate, but I always sucked at meditating until quite recently. Oh, you're so welcome, Amanda. Ah, it's the time for us to bring together the things that we say we believe and how we live and hold those beliefs feet to the fire and see if they can work for us, right? I've been into spirituality since I was 28. And I wondered after 20, 30 years, 35 years, I'm like, why isn't this helping? I'm s- my teacher, the great Amachi, the hugging saint who came into into her body, into this world, this life, knowing exactly who she was, one with the divine, and knowing that she came here to help us rise within ourselves. You could sit with her for a million years, but until you take that power and make it your own, you're just going to be sitting at her feet for a million years. And if you want to do sort of the ultimate sort of making use of the crap that we're given in this life and use it to grow into being you, then you get to decide what that is. You get to decide what that looks like. And you get to decide how to explore. And exploration beats the crap out of beating up on myself. I can tell you that. So I try to be extremely practical to teach in very practical, applicable ways that meeting point between our so-called real life and our real identity, which is our vibrational strength or our vibrational power. And the next time you hear the word power, I want you to distinguish between two things, control and power, because the people around the orange nightmare and all of these billionaire fuckwads, they do not have power. They really don't. And I'll tell you why in a second. What they do have is control. They have financial control. We have the power. I looked up the other day. I looked up on Chat GPT. I was like, how many people are in the government in Washington? Like, how many people run the government in Washington? It was like 18,000. I was like, that's all? 18,000? Do you know how many freaking millions and millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of us there are and billions on the planet? I mean, 18,000 in one little place. Millions and millions of people all over the country. The thing is that it's a consciousness thing. It's not a smarts thing. It's nothing to do with smarts. It's a consciousness thing. You have to be actively looking. You have to be curious. You have to be like, that's it. Why do I not feel this? Why do I not like get on a feeling level that there's millions and millions and millions and millions of us and what that really means? That we really can. Like, if 20 million of us marched on Washington, some shit would happen. Some shit would change, is what I'm trying to say. I am not a proponent of violence. It's not necessary. We don't even need to march if we knew our own how our energy is our power and how to use it. All we would have to do is get on a big ass Zoom call and go, let's do it. Let's tune in to what's real. And, you know, I'm telling you, that's the honest to God practical truth. But we've got to understand it. We've got to experience it. There is nothing like experience. You can learn a whole bunch of shit. Haven't you learned a whole bunch of stuff throughout your life? I have. Oh my God, I have so much stuff in this head. But if it's not helping your quality of life, then what good is it for you? It doesn't mean the information is bad, but we need to apply it. We need to insist on some things, and we need to understand that we are the power that we've been waiting for. We're it. And we need to be willing to be honest that we don't know what that even means. So that we can start. So if your feet are not on the ground, how are you going to walk forward? You've got to know where your feet are. Okay, right now, like for me, I'll just use me. Now that I've had the experiences that I've had over the last 3.5 years, I know because I've experienced it, not just I know, but I know that changing my energetic set point, letting myself take my time instead of panicking and feeling like I've got to change this emotion immediately or something bad will happen. Instead, taking my time, letting myself feel it and bringing a little bit of light to the party, letting the light usher out the dark. I'm like, this works. I know this is real. And if it's real on the small scale of Lori, if it's small on the scale of the meditators in England that they measured at one point back in the 80s or something, who came into a beleaguered town where there was lots of violence, lots of theft and everything else, and they meditated for a month and the crime wave went down. Like, if it can work like that, then what can it not touch? I now know that. Does that mean that I live it every second? It does not mean that. So now I I try to deepen and expand my understanding so that wherever I get to in my life, in any given day, whatever I'm up against, whatever emotional reaction, it's no longer this stupid game of, I feel that, I'm scared of that, and I'm going to try to push it the hell out, and I'm having a miserable day. Those are the colors I dealt with. Those are the colors most of us deal with. And we have a whole panoply of colors to play with. Don't we deserve to have more? Don't we deserve to be more? Of course. Of course we deserve more. And the only one who's going to give it to us is us. And so it's reasonable if you go, I don't know how the hell to do that. That is totally reasonable. Who the hell told you? Who the hell taught you to do it? But it's unreasonable if being drawn to teachings like this, you just go, well, I feel better now. And I'm not going to search on my own at some point. You don't have to be a crazy person like me. All right. I mean, I'm a crazy driven person. That was the gift of my depression. I was like, I got to survive this shit. I got to get out of this shit. Like there was so much heartbreak. Oh, thank you. There was so much heartbreak. My mother dying when I was 21 and like just all kinds of crap. It was a my oversoul set it up perfectly. Not like my human self is going, thank you. I'm so happy I'm heartbroken. Please. That's where the double vision comes in. You understand where you're standing as a human person, and you also are looking at, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? What's the quality of life that I want to have? Stop holding yourself to unreasonable bullshit. I'll be happy when I have $1,000,000. I'll be happy when I'm married. Oh my God, Abigail, right? And you do. I remember, who was it? I don't remember what channel being it was that said, when you are making a shift from one consciousness state to the next, when you're growing, you can sometimes feel like you're stepping from one ladder to the next, or no, from one rung on the ladder to the next, but you're totally focused on the foot that you took off of the ladder. You're not even focused on the foot that's still there balancing you. You're only focused on the one you took off and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening. And that's what it's like. So, like I said, bringing both of those to the party, going, "I'm losing my mind. This is not good." And at the same time going, "Okay, what do I have in my life that's okay?" Like, "Okay, am I bleeding right now?" I'm this is serious. I'm not saying this lightly. Am I bleeding right now? No, I'm not bleeding right now. Am I in danger of my life? Is my life in danger? No. Do I have food in my refrigerator? This is some of the stuff I did when I was homeless. Is there food in my refrigerator? Yes, there's food in my refrigerator. Um, could I make it through like a day or 2 if nothing changed in the next couple of days? Yes, I can. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Like, you have to it gets to that point for some of us. I'm not saying this will necessarily happen to you, but there does come that point for some of us where we have to bring it so close to the present moment that we finally do more living in the present moment. And the reason people think that living in the present moment is such a good idea isn't because they want to be spiritually advanced. Well, a lot of us hear it that way and, initially try it, and that's not what it means. Living in the present moment simply means to me that you are living in endless possibilities. Any moment can turn out in any way. And when you can manage to understand that as a concept and then hold yourself open to it, whether that's mentally, emotionally, sensorily, anyway, suddenly you get to slow down. Suddenly, in the middle of a fucking mess, you go, okay, hold on a sec. This sucks. I hate this. Oh, this sucks so bad. Okay. Well, I don't know the answer yet, but I'm going to stay open because honestly, guys, that's all you have to do is that little doorway of like, okay, I'm going to be aware that there's a little door open here and you only need a little one. You don't need a big effing door. You need a little door because the energy, the grace, whatever you want to call it, that is constantly raining on you is just waiting for us to activate the receptivity. And yeah, I've spent a few years now playing with this whole concept of the art of allowing because we're all really good at the art of pushing really freaking hard. But I think you'll have noticed by now it doesn't work so damn well. Oh god, no. I don't remember, Megan. The reading? You did I do a reading for you? I don't did I really? I wish tell your 2-year-old hello. Children are magical. A lot of them are. The moment, hours, day, week, it was okay to be scared, but to keep going forward or just breathe and try again. Yeah, I had a really hard time myself because when you are depressed, what depression is a groove in your brain and you keep returning to it over and over again. Oh, you're welcome. Um, oh, the collective reading. Is it the collective reading, Megan? Is that what you were wondering about? Okay, okay, okay. Um, the collective reading for us at this time in our collective human history is we are moving towards good. We're not heading towards the end, curtain down, give up, it's all over. That's not what's happening. We got the world card. That is every possibility on earth. And it is like you have the world at your fingertips. And it was in reverse, which means that it's an internal thing that we're learning to embrace now. We're learning that's who we are. We are learning to embrace this. Um, we don't have a whole lot of maturity emotionally, and we're reaching for it. We're reaching for it, and we have to reach for it. We have to become aware of how we feel. We have to become less afraid, more curious, more interested in what we are experiencing because we came here to experience things. We love to say, I am a spiritual being having a human experience, but then we don't want we refuse delivery on the human experience. because nobody's taught us how to deal with it. It's energy. It's discernment. It's learning to have boundaries. It's learning to listen to ourselves. It's learning that if we don't feel comfortable in a situation, we don't have to defend that. We just have to leave. It's understanding the world that we live in, which does not respect women, and that has taught us not to respect ourselves so that we know what the nature of the work is. It's seeing that all the things that you secretly thought or that you shared with your friends and you all go, "Yeah, that sucks. That's wrong." You're right. It sucks. We're always fighting. We're always in a place of fighting. And fighting always comes mostly from a place inside of us that feels we are not justified in saying or feeling what we're saying or feeling. Does that make sense? Because if you know for sure that you are the smartest kid, that you are a smart, let me put it differently. It's not a comparative thing. If you knew for sure, you're like, I'm a smart person, and you've defined that for yourself. So you know where you would argue with yourself about it. But I don't know everything. I don't have to know everything to be smart. Oh, that's true. I'm still smart then. Yeah, you're still smart. Okay, cool. Got it. And you plug up that hole or all of those holes that go against what you say you know about yourself. And then somebody comes to you and says, "You're a dumbass." You know, if you didn't plug the hole, you're going to get very defensive, right? You're going to be like, you're going to cry or you're going to rage or you're going to be upset. Now, you may still be upset, but it's not going to hit you the same way, and you get to a certain point, you're going to be able to look at them and go, it's hilarious. It's just not like it becomes a fact that that's not true, right? Like that's what I'm trying to get to. Um, in certain issues in my life, and smart is one of them. For some reason, and I don't feel like I have to know why, but for some reason, I don't want people to think that I'm stupid. I'm so far from stupid, it's stupid. I'm also not like a physicist. I'm not like that kind of smart. I'm this kind of smart. You think I'm stupid? That's okay. You don't have to hang around. I don't have any chains. I'm not going to keep you here. You know what I mean? It becomes a different kind of game. It becomes a game that you've got skin in. It becomes the game where you've got the power. Because no matter what happens, no matter what you did when that person insulted you or made you feel bad or whatever, no matter what happened, doesn't matter. If you think you had the worst reaction on earth, you still get to go away and take back your fucking power. You still get to go away and go, okay. And one of the things that's powerful is tell yourself the truth. I really freaking hate that bitch. Now, you may love this person, okay? But tell yourself the emotional truth. Let that energy move. Don't hold on to it. Don't pitch your damn tent in the middle of it. Use a journal. Record yourself on your phone. Whatever. But just feel like, ugh. When you let that energy flow, it's not letting it out. It's letting it flow. The nature of energy is to flow and shift. It's like a river. Its natural thing is river or ocean. That's energy. Energy is in waves. Hello. Energy comes in waves. So learn to understand that from a different perspective. And suddenly it's not, I've got this terrorist inside of me and he won't leave or she won't leave. If she won't leave, it's because the idea of letting yourself a little off the hook hasn't sort of percolated through. Have mercy. You can learn to surf, Amanda. Hell yes. Hell yes. I'm gonna ask Substack over here because there's been nothing in chat. If anybody's still here, let me know. Otherwise, I'll let Substack go because nope, I'm gonna make this suggestion to them that they have 2 numbers. One is like how many people have been here and how many people are still here because TikTok lets me know. Crazy. I don't think anybody's over there. So, yeah, and learning to surf, like, define your terms. You're welcome, Amanda. I am so glad to meet you. I'm here at 4 tomorrow, 4 Eastern. So have a beautiful night. Be good to you and go have some Netflix and chocolate, whatever it takes. And Substack, thank you. I've never had 17 people show up before. Even if they didn't, I'll stay. So thanks. That's pretty freaking awesome. I think I may have broken the code over here. What a concept. All right. Bye, you guys.